Hi everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm always in the craft room, and a few weeks ago at the beginning of October, I had a week off work and I decided I would spend it on a slightly more complex sewing project. And this is the result. I have been making a gilet, a jacket, a vest, a body warmer from a gorgeous Linton tweed with a faux fur lining. And let me tell you, it has been the project that went on and on and on and on, but it is done now and I absolutely love it. So I thought you might like to join me on the process. Let's rewind a few weeks and see what I got up to. And I will come back at the end and show you the fully modelled outfit with all of the details. Enjoy. While I cut this twirl from a bedsheet, let's talk about the October pattern I'm using. I've just remembered this has not got any seam allowances. That's standard with October, and it's good and it's bad for what we're doing, because for the lining I'm going to be using a faux fur and we don't want any seam allowances. And if you're thinking, Hayley, you should have ironed that fabric before you cut out, I do not disagree with you. For the outer fabric, I'm using a gorgeous Linton tweed. It's quite loosely woven, and one of the reasons I've been putting this project off is I'm not quite sure how to deal with it. However, I have decided to cut a size 44 and use 1 centimetre seam allowances on the outer fabric. The lining I'm going to be butting up right against each other with no seam allowances and using a joining stitch on my machine. I will insert a picture of what this stitch looks like, and I did join it using an edge joining foot, which was a special purchase for my machine, but it really helps to keep everything lined up just right. Right, let's try it on now. I don't think I'll wear a gilet over this. I think it will be one or the other, but this is about the same thickness as the faux fur, so maybe I should try it on over this. We have 1 centimetre seam allowance along the front for the zip. I'm off to the mirror for a proper look. Here it is with just a t-shirt on. I still think it's quite long, considering I've taken 9 centimetres out. I think I would probably want it even shorter still. But I don't think it looks gigantic. I mean, it is roomy, but I think we're on the right track. Just in a plain size 44. I don't think we need any more room, because even with that bulky jumper on, it was fine and would zip. So yeah, I'm surprised at how long it is. I think we need to raise the pockets, cut it out at this length, and we can trim some off. Because I still haven't decided how I'm doing the bottom hem, whether I'm going to try and turn it and hand stitch it or bind it. I just don't know. And lunchtime, turkey sandwich with an apple, and time to organise all that footage from this morning into a vlog. I've had my lunch and I've decided we're going straight size 44. I'm going to cut it out in the fur and then try it on. We'll go from there. And because there's no seam allowance, I'm just butting the seams together and sewing. There's no takesy backsies. Wish me luck. Well, the faux fur lining is all sewn up, and I'm pleased to report that the joining stitch I chose, number 11 on my Faff Ambition 620, has worked out beautifully. Really pleased with that. Not too much fluff in the seams. All good. But how many of you were yelling at me while I was cutting that out? Comment below if you know what I'm about to say. I've cut it with the nap going the wrong way. So if this were an animal, that's how you'd smooth it, and that's how you'd make it cross. So the nap is running up, and I feel like the nap should definitely run down, because it just, I had not thought of it at all, but it definitely feels to me like it should go down like it would on an animal. And also I think that's going to get caught on my clothes underneath. That said, I do think I've actually got enough to cut it out again. I'm not going to, because there's so many more things that might go wrong on this project. We might still need a spare. So at this stage, I'm going to carry on with what we've got, and let's try it on, shall we? I know I keep saying I'm not going to wear it over this because that's a lot of kind of cream fluff. It's actually quite nice on its own, isn't it? But yeah, that is, the nap thing is strange. Oh well. Off to look in the mirror. Why, yes, it is very fluffy in here right now. Oh. Oof. Anyway, I need to go because I've got to pick the kids up, and then we're all going swimming. I have had a lovely day in the craft room, just chilling, listening to some music, sewing, and I'm really pleased we've got the sizing sorted out. I think we're on track with a straight size 44. I wish I had realised about the nap, but you know, these things happen. And I guess the next step tomorrow is cutting out the Linton tweed and figuring out the zip situation. I've just been in the stash and found some nice wide ribbon, because the more I think about a zip and faux fur, the more I realise we're going to have an issue. So we need some kind of zipper guard or something. I don't know. But we've got started, which is the hardest part. And I know as I'm falling asleep tonight, all of this will be working itself out. And also the fluff in here is unreal. Yeah. Every video I watched about how to work with faux fur said it will get everywhere. I feel like it's all over my face, up my nose. Ugh. It's definitely in my coffee, even though I put a lid on it. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed following along. Well, it's a new day, but I couldn't leave you hanging like that, could I? What a depressing end to the video. I've cut my lining out upside down and I've not got time for anything else. So we're back. And today I'm going to cut out the fashion fabric. I'm happy with the size I chose. I'm just going to get it cut out, and I'm going to do it off camera because this video is already getting so long. And also I need to ring my mum. So I'll chat to her while I cut it out. Okay, we're all cut out. Here's the back panel. I've sewn both the darts, and as I told you earlier, this fabric frays so badly. So what I've done around all of the edges, first I fused it with Vilene Form Band bias tape. I did it after I'd sewn the dart on this seam, but on all the others I did it straight away. So I've fused that to the edge just to give it a bit more strength when I stitch through it, because it doesn't just fray, it's quite loosely woven. So I thought that would help give the seam strength. And then to prevent the fraying, I've overlocked around the edge as well. I tried a zigzag on my machine, and an overlock is much more secure with 2 needles. So all of the pattern pieces are prepped. I don't think I've got time to sew them together, but even just getting that far is a big weight off. And amazingly, this fabric, which obviously has a metallic stripe through it, actually presses just fine. I've fused this on with no bother. So that was a relief. Catch up with you soon. Well, hello again. I made great progress on my gilet last night, but there's still a lot more to be done. This project is turning out to be much more involved than I thought. Anyway, I'll give you an update on what I have done. So you might remember it has princess seams with invisible zip pockets set into the seams, and I wasn't loving how the instructions told you to do that. So it instructed you to sew the princess seam before the notch, after the notch, and then put the zip in. And when I do invisible zips, I've always done it the other way around. Zip installed first and then close up the seam. So that is what I did, and it wasn't great. It was hard to do, very fiddly, just, yeah, it was hard work. So today I need to do the other side, and I thought, why not follow their instructions and see if their way is indeed better. I'm hoping that even though I do it using two different techniques, it will still look even and the same. I'll be really careful marking all my notches and everything, but I would like to give the other way a go just because, yeah, that was a big hassle last night. So that's what I'm planning to do for today. Before that, I would like to film another video. I have been out and about this morning running errands. I've got a nice cup of coffee and I'm excited to head to the craft room. It's been a true autumn day here. We've had blue skies, we've had grey skies. We haven't had any rain, but it has been threatening. And the good news is the craft room is really tidy. Ta-da! Oh, is that really tidy? Slippers on the floor, some abandoned fabric. That's what I was using for the pocket pieces. I mean, that's pretty tidy for me, to be honest. Okay, I have finished both inseam pockets and surprise, surprise, the time I followed the pattern instructions, it came out better. Who would have thought that professional pattern makers who write professional instructions know better than me, your home sewer? Anyway, I tried it both ways. At least I now know the way October said is better. And the reason it's better is, firstly, it was actually just easier to put in. When I'm doing a zip, I always hate the bit where you have to move the zip past the needle, and it was easier in their method, but also their way means that you can press the princess seam open, whereas my way meant that you were pressing it both to one side. So I do prefer their method. However, I've gone back and finagled my way so that I could press the seam open. I just had to cut some threads and then resew. But anyway, I will show you how it's looking if I can. So this is centre front. There's the princess seam. And can you see? Hopefully not. That in here we have got an invisible zip pocket. Ta-da! I guess next it's connect at the shoulder seams, and then I'm going to have a better idea of fit because I can try it on over the lining, because I do think maybe a 44 is a bit big, but I can take some in at the side seam and I can take some off at the front when I put the zip in. I'm not messing with those princess seams again. Goodness me, no, they are in for life. So that's today's update. I'm off now to make dinner. I've not got any more time today. Well, I'm back to it, and this is so ridiculous, but I have run out of black thread. How did that even happen? I've got some Toldy Lock overlocker cone. I think I'm just going to wind that onto a bobbin and use it because I've literally got no black. I don't want to use the wrong colour, but I also don't want to go out and I don't want to wait for some to arrive. So overlocking thread it is, I guess. Tell me if that is a terrible idea. Okay, time for a try on. The outside is all basted and I haven't pressed any of the seams because I don't want to make the stitches permanent. I just wanted to see how we are for size. So I've got the lining on, fluffy side against me, and we still obviously need to put the zip in. There's my little pockets, so pleased with those. I think size is looking all right. I don't know, do we want to snug it up just a touch on the side seams? Going to have a look in the mirror. Okay, overall, loving the look of it, but I do think it's too big, which I thought it probably would be in a size 44. But I'm not messing with the princess seam. I'm going to take some off the centre front and some off the sides. And I honestly, I don't think we need a lot off because I don't want it to be tight. But yeah, very good at exercise. Testing it now before I sew everything up permanently. And it's definitely too long on me. I want it more like that. So good progress. That was literally 10 minutes sewing and now the kids need me. So I'm off again. See you soon. Well, hello and welcome to my faceless vlog. I'm off to the gym in a bit and I've filmed this once already and the state of my hair and face was so distracting. I'm refilming it without that. So I'll tell you what I've done. I have taken the shoulder seams up by 1 centimetre on the double, so 2 overall. Liked that a lot better, and I've taken the side seams in. They're just basted at present. 2 centimetres on the double, so taking 8 centimetres all around, which I know that's a lot. But I decided I would not be able to tell whether I liked it without putting the zip on. I can't wear it clipped on because of all the zipping. So I've got the zip basted in. The shoulder seams are properly sewn at the new stitching line. I'm definitely happy with that. And it's also brought the armhole up, which is very good. But let's see how it looks zipped. I actually think that's about the fit I'm going for. This top is quite thin, but it doesn't feel like tight. I can still pinch some there. It's always good to watch this footage back and see what I think on video. Check out my zips and pockets. I'm so pleased with how this is coming together. I decided I did want the collar, so obviously I put that in before I put the zip on, and the length of this zip will determine the length of the jacket, but that was intentional. I bought the zip first, knowing that that was where I wanted the jacket to stop. So yeah, I'm super pleased. Next up, I need to take these side seams in permanently and refinish those edges, and then we're back on to the lining. This is all of the faux fur I have left, and you can see it has such a nap to it, and as we might recall, I cut it out upside down and I can't deal with that. I need it to be the correct way up. So I'm flipping this over now, and that way is down, and I'm going to see if I've got enough to recut. I don't think I do, but the version that I've already made is too big, remember? Because I've taken 2 centimetres off each side seam and 1 centimetre off here. These are just buttered together and sewn, so I can cut this apart, and then I'm going to have some quite big pieces which I might be able to turn upside down and use again. So all is not lost. And also, very importantly, I can take a lot of length off. Haha. Right. There is work to be done, but I'm going to work it out and I'm going to recut this the right way up. Well, it's a very happy day because I did manage to cut out a whole new lining with the nap going the right way. I did have to piece one bit and I chose to do it on the front, and I will explain why. I'll try it on and show you, because yes, it's obvious here, but when it's flipped inside, I thought actually you're more likely to see the back on a hanger or something, because obviously it will in real life be like this way out. So you'll be able to see the back quite often, I think, but the inside front you won't really ever see. So it's a bit annoying that I had to piece it, but you know what? Better than living with the nap upside down. So that is all I've got time for. I've got a dash now. Next job is to somehow attach this to the zip. And I'm going to have to think about it because I don't want the fluff to get caught in the zip mechanism. And let me tell you, this whole craft room, oh my gosh, look at me. Yeah, it's fluffy in here. I've been sneezing like mad. I will catch you hopefully for a bit more sewing time tomorrow. I am ready to put the zipper guard on. The instructions specify making your own zipper guard, and I just thought, oh, I just want to melt this so that it doesn't fray, because fraying ribbon is super annoying. There we go. Octobra's instructions are extremely clear, but sometimes I think they're aimed at the more advanced sewist. And in this case, they wanted you to do the zip and the zip guard in one step. But I thought it would be better to just do it in two passes. And I've basted the zip and the zip guard on because I'm never sure if I'm doing it right. So let's give it a test and see if this works. Right. Okay. Okay, that's doing what I expect so far. Ah, amazing. I think we're all good. So, right, that's not interfered with the zip at all. Now I need to work out, oh, sorry, I jogged you then, the lining stitch. Oh, wish me luck. Another day and a few more minutes to work on this. I am facing the zip edge and I'm just pinning it to make sure I've got the theory correct. And I've got to say, it's a good job I did, because the first time I pinned it so that the fur was on the inside, as in not the inside of the gilet, the inside of the lining. Oops. Okay, I've got that facing attached. I have used a herringbone stitch so as to flatten the fur as much as possible. And obviously I need to pull out these hand basting stitches, which are in yellow, to make it easier. And now I can go ahead and attach this facing to the zip. Cross your fingers for me. You're going to have to use your imagination here because this is basted and turned and it's not top stitched at all. But in theory, well, my theory was right, let's say. That's keeping the fluff away from the zip. Everything has turned correctly and is now on the correct side. Let's do the zip up. How does that look open? I think it looks fine. I've been losing a lot of sleep over this. I also am now second guessing another aspect, which is the hem. Instead of binding it at the bottom, what I actually could do is just turn the outer up around the fur and hand stitch it down, which honestly, that might be my preference. I think that's a really nice clean edge. Obviously that side is not yet. Oh, that's such a relief that that has worked. Onto the other side. It's a new day and I was all ready to attach the facing to the other side of the zip when I had a thought. Before I do that and the inside starts to get kind of enclosed, do I need to sew down the seams? So I've made a little sample of the seams top stitched. On one side I did it with my edge stitching foot, and that's as far away as I can go from the seam with that. On this side, I freestyled it just using my normal foot. And honestly, I don't love the look of it because I think it's interrupting the stripes. It's shifting them just slightly up and down. So I think I might need to, on the inside, hand sew all the seams open. This project just goes on and on and on. But I really want to do it right more than I want to wear it. Although, check out this outfit. Wouldn't that look great with my gilet? And I'm running out of autumnal weather. It's getting kind of cold now. Anyway, this is going to be in my wardrobe for years. I'd rather do it right. So, looking at that, I just don't love the top stitching. I think I'm going to have to do it by hand. And the main thing I'm dreading about that is that the lining is now attached to the outer. I'm not undoing those stitches because it's super secure and it's good. But if I take this whole ensemble over to the house to hand sew in front of the fire of an evening, the fluff that is plaguing my craft room will start to plague the house too. But it is what it is. I wish I'd thought of it sooner in the construction process, but I didn't. But luckily I did think of it before I sewed the other side of the zip, and the whole thing became a turning inside out nightmare. So yeah, that's the new plan. Some hand sewing and then we'll get back to the zip and the facing. Last night I completed my hand stitching. I got all of the seams. I just catch stitched them open, and I'm really pleased I took the time to do that. I think it will look much better, hold up much better, wrinkle less, and it didn't take as long as I thought it would. I literally got them all done in one evening. So there is fluff everywhere. It's not as bad as it might have been. I brought my little rolling ironing table over to support the work and tried to limit it to that. So this fur has not touched my sofa, and now it's going back to the craft room where I'm trying to quarantine it. Okay, I've got both sides of the zip in. It all turned out all right, thank goodness. And I have actually gone back, and instead of top stitching down the sides of the zip to keep it spread out, I've actually gone in and done it by hand on the inside. I'll unzip and show you. So that's the side with the zip guard, and along the edge of the facing, which is the grey grain ribbon, I've just gone in with a hand stitch and just took a tiny little bit of the front just to make sure that everything lays nice and flat and nothing gets caught in the zip as I'm doing it. I'm so pleased that is done. I think the top's looking nice for when it's open. So now I am going to baste along the neck edge and the armholes so that I can get started on the binding, which I already made a couple of days ago, so that's nice. I'll get on with that now. I've basted this top edge together and I'm finding that everything's drooping and hanging off the top edge, so I'm just going in and hand stitching along the edge of the neckline, just catching the seam allowance inside of the tweed, just hoping that will redistribute the weight and stop everything hanging awkwardly off the top of the neck, and instead have it nice and anchored along the seam of the collar. Yeah, that's better already. much better. I'm now going to overlock these edges together just to make them really compacted and thin and hopefully much easier to bind. So not to be overdramatic, but allow me for a moment to be overdramatic. Check out my binding. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm so pleased with that. I used the method I always mention from Georgia's portfolio. I have left thread tails at the end so that I can just sew this little edge bit closed. Oh, absolutely thrilled with that onto the armholes. The binding is all done, neckline, both sleeves. I'm absolutely thrilled. The hem, I've decided I'm going to turn under and just hand stitch to the lining. The lining is a bit shorter than the outer because if you recall, when I had to cut it out a second time, I ran out of fabric. So I've really got to go and put dinner on now. But hand stitching the hem is something I can do when the kids are playing after dinner. Can't wait to come back and show you the completely finished thing. So I really hope you enjoyed following along with me for a few weeks as I got this made. I shall be inserting some footage of me modelling the finished garment, but I wanted to talk you through a couple of details. So we've got this gorgeous faux fur lining. It's so soft and snuggly. The facing is a grey grain ribbon from John Lewis. I've got a little zip guard here. The top edge is bound. The arms are bound, and I did the hand stitch hem as I described in the vlog. So I absolutely love this. I'm so thrilled with it. Today I've been to the gym, which is why I'm wearing my sports kit with it. But you know what? It seems to go with absolutely everything in my wardrobe. I will say the clocks have gone back now. You can probably tell from this harsh lighting. And I have been wearing this today, but honestly, I think I've only got a little bit more time before I need to put it away for the spring because it really is getting quite chilly here. But you know what? If I hadn't started it when I had that week off, I would have been procrastinating until it had got too cold, and then I would have put it off till spring. And, you know, that's why this fabric has been in the stash for 10 years. So I'm so pleased to have it done, and I hope you like it too. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.